What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. China is targeting Taiwan's young people through culture and sponsored trips in what national security officials are calling hybrid infiltration.
加大对我青年基层统战，锁定邀我青年参访红色景点，透过各类文化参访，促区认同文化一中。
Taiwan's National Security Bureau briefed legislators on 5 current threats China poses to Taiwan. While the report contained China's usual pressure tactics like military coercion and international suppression, it also spoke about emerging threats. Those include societal and cyber infiltration. Lawmakers are sounding the alarm after Chinese components were found in a Taiwanese military drone. The defense minister says sensitive parts will no longer be sourced from China. But as Jong reports, it's not the first time Chinese tech has turned up where it shouldn't.
The Albatross 2 drone is supposed to be a work of domestic Taiwanese engineering. But ahead of its mass production, there's a snag. It turns out some of its parts are made in China. China claims Taiwan, and it's Chinese forces these drones are built to repel. Yet inspectors only caught the Chinese parts at the last minute, when the military took delivery of early units. Now, concerned lawmakers are pressing the drone's maker over the potential security risks.
会不会以后无人机飞上去，不管侦测到什么、看到什么，其实资料还没有回传台湾，都已经回传到对岸了呢？
这2型无人机都还没有量产，是在试研制的阶段。然后我们在试研制阶段，这个东西是从国外进口的。那进口以后，我们在进口检验的时候，发现里面的确有它的 SD 卡是中国制的，那我们就要求原厂要能更换。
The defense minister, too, faced questions. When he pledged tighter controls once the drones go into mass production, lawmakers pressed for specifics.
哪一些是要飞后？就是这一个的标准是不是一致？
我们分成5类。我比如说举个例子，你可不可能桌子这个绝对不需要说费录制嘛？那有一些我想比较大家很清楚，就是具有传输功能的，那我们当然就确定一定是不能够用。
How reassured lawmakers may be is hard to gauge. The issue of Chinese-made equipment in sensitive places is not a new one for Taiwan. Last year, Taiwan People's Party lawmaker Huang Guochang broke the news that army bases were using Chinese devices. An audit found Chinese-made network routers, data readers, and power inverters. Rocket fuel powder and some electrical components in Taiwan-made missiles have also been traced to China in the past. But with China the world's largest exporter, getting the parts Taiwan needs without the risk Chinese parts could bring won't be easy. Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Chinese military activity around Taiwan has continued throughout the week. The Defense Ministry says it spotted 29 Chinese military aircraft and 9 naval vessels operating near Taiwan in a 24-hour period up to Thursday morning. 18 of those aircraft entered Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. This area is not Taiwan's airspace, but it's used as a buffer zone for defensive purposes. The military says it also spotted 2 official ships operating near Taiwan. The incursion comes as Taiwan's military holds annual exercises in the country's south. Several Taiwanese celebrities are being investigated for evading conscription. It comes after actor Darren Wong was arrested for dodging military service earlier this year. At least 8 entertainers are under investigation for forging medical records to get out of serving. 2 of them have been released on bail. In 2022, conscription for Taiwanese men was extended from 4 months to 1 year amid rising tensions with China. While many younger citizens would rather not do it, polls show that most Taiwanese see conscription as necessary for national defense. U.S. President Donald Trump has received another lavish welcome on the second stop of his Middle East tour in Qatar. There, the leader secured economic deals and renewed calls for a resolution to Iran's nuclear program. Rosie Greninger reports.
The red carpet is rolled out for Donald Trump in Qatar, the second leg of the U.S. president's Middle East tour, focused on drumming up investments. And after a meeting with the country's emir, the 2 announced business deals between the United States and Qatar, totaling more than $243 billion US. Among them, the purchase of hundreds of Boeing jets.
Kelly's telling me from Boeing that's the largest order of jets in the history of Boeing. That's pretty good. It's actually 200, including the 40, so it's over $200 billion. But 160 in terms of the jets, that's fantastic. So that's a record, Kelly, and congratulations to Boeing. Get those planes out there.
Set to be produced over the next 7 years, the White House said the deal would support over 150 jobs in the US each year. While the agreement between the two countries, including a mutual defense deal for advanced drone technology, will reportedly generate more than $1 trillion in extra business for the two nations. It comes as Trump faces backlash for accepting a $400 million jet from Qatar, described as a flying palace, to be used as Air Force One. Qatar's Prime Minister pushed back on the criticism, saying the jet is a routine government-to-government transaction, not a personal gift.
First of all, we bought this airplane from an American company. It's basically part of a cooperation that we've been doing a lot together between Qatar and the United States.
Trump has brushed off any questions about the jet, focusing instead on Iran. During a state dinner, Trump repeated his calls for a peaceful resolution to Iran's nuclear program, appealing to Qatar to help with the situation. Washington has held 4 negotiations to reach a deal over the project. Further talks are planned, but the US president said for a deal to be made, Iran must end its support for proxy groups.
You're also working with us very closely with respect to negotiating a deal with Iran, which is the far friendlier course that you would see. I mean, we have 2 courses. There's only 2 courses. There aren't 3 or 4 or 5. There's 2. There's a friendly and a non-friendly, and the non-friendly is a violent course, and I don't want that. I'll say it up front, I don't want that, but they have to get moving.
Trump is pushing for agreement despite abandoning the Iran nuclear deal in 2018 during his first term in office. Responding to Trump, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said his country would not bow to any bully.
خیال کرده الان اومده اونجا شعار بده ما خواهیم ترسید و در مقابل وعده‌هاش کوتاه خواهیم اومد. ما عزت و سربلندی این مملکت رو با هیچ کی معامله نخواهیم کرد.
With that deal seemingly shut down, Trump is now turning his attention back to his Middle East tour. He will next meet with US troops at Qatar's Al Udeid air base before jetting to his final destination, the UAE, where he will continue looking to make deals that he promised the American people. Dolphin Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
U.S. officials are scrutinizing the use of Chinese tech on the power grid. That's after undocumented communication devices were found inside of China-made solar power equipment. Officials say China could use these hidden devices to sabotage critical Western energy infrastructure. A new bill in U.S. Congress aims to curb reliance on Chinese-made energy tech. If passed, it would block the U.S.'s domestic security agency from buying batteries from 6 Chinese firms seen as national security risks. China currently dominates global production of renewable energy technology, including solar panels, batteries, wind turbines, and grid technologies. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has called for the completion of war preparations, according to state media. Kim reportedly said doing so was the most vital task. State media also showed footage of him observing military drills and training. Just last week, the North Korean leader said he would not hesitate to use military force if the United States continued to provoke Russia. Pyongyang has sent troops and weapons to Russia to fight against Ukraine. A traditional Pacific sailing canoe has completed a historic journey from Palau to Taiwan using the stars and ocean swells to navigate. As Rick Glauer reports, the first of its kind journey is reviving traditional seafaring knowledge and reconnecting with ancient roots.
An enthusiastic welcome for a historic visit. As the crew of a traditional double-hulled voyaging canoe, the Alingano Maisu, arrives on Taiwan's east coast. After a 19-day sail from Palau, 1,200 nautical miles across the Pacific. Cesario Saralur and his 11 crew piloted the vessel with ancient know-how, using the wind for power and the stars for navigation.
Well, being a Voyager, and this is how we survive. This is our big ocean that we need to take care of. This is how we bring life to different places.
Like voyagers of the past, the crew lived off bananas, coconuts and dried fish on this first of its kind journey, with a vision to reconnect some of the oldest seafaring communities in the Pacific, including indigenous Taiwanese. It's along this coast in the southeast of the country where most of Taiwan's indigenous people live. Their communities have been here for millennia, long before settlers from Europe, Japan and China came to this island. And it's also widely believed that it's from these communities along this coast that the rest of the Pacific became populated, through thousands of years of migration by sea. Taiwan's indigenous people and Palauans still share elements of their language and culture. This landmark voyage described as a return by the people of Palau to the mother island.
海洋不是分隔我们的，它是连接我们的陆地。
But it's also about sharing and preserving ancient sailing and navigating techniques at risk of dying out. Joining other sailors from around the Pacific on board, Jiang Ye Hai Shaman, from Taiwan's Dao people who live on Orchid Island.
透过上千年的一个知识的累积，才造成了所有在太平洋岛屿上面有我们这些南岛语民族的一个居住。那这些航海的实践，在过去是因为西方殖民的关系，让这些知识断掉了。那透过这次航海的知识的一个复振跟重新再去建构，也让我们台湾跟南太平洋的岛屿民族能够透过海洋来重新的连接在一起。
But the Palau-Taiwan connection is under pressure. China, which claims Taiwan as part of its territory, disapproves of Palau's official diplomatic relations with Taiwan, a friendship that the two countries have committed to maintaining despite Beijing's objections.
I think this voyage represents peace. It represents how people used to travel, how interconnected we are. You know, a lot of times we keep talking about how the oceans connect us. This is a demonstration of how that truly is.
Alingano Maisu means fallen breadfruit, and just as fruit that has fallen from the tree is available to everyone, this boat was built to share voyaging traditions across far-flung nations of the Pacific. Here, at the western edge of that ocean for the first time, the boat and its crew are spending more than a week visiting Taiwan's coastline communities, reviving forgotten connections and proving that the sea can be a bridge, not a barrier. Justin Wu and Rick Lowett in Taidong County for TaiwanPlus.
TSMC says it will start building its most advanced semiconductor fab yet by the end of the year. The factory in central Taiwan's Taichung will produce chips more advanced than those made with the current 2-nanometer process by around 2028. The announcement comes as TSMC says they also plan to start building 8 other new factories this year, including 5 in the southern city of Kaohsiung. The announcement marks a significant increase in production capacity, with an average of 5 new factories built each year between 2021 and 2024. Former Vice President Chien-jen is heading to the Vatican on Sunday, where he'll represent Taiwan at the coronation ceremony for Pope Leo. Chen served as vice president during Tsai Ing-wen's first term. He attended the funeral of Pope Francis, who died in April. The Vatican is Taiwan's only remaining diplomatic ally in Europe. Taiwan's foreign ministry says Chen will relay Taipei's hope of furthering ties with the Holy See. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these celebrations for Vesak in Vietnam. The annual festival commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and death of the Buddha. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more stories from Taiwan and Osaka, download the TaiwanPlus app.